Hey there, it's Carolyn with a Curious Studios video. Today I want to address a question I hear quite a bit from my university art students. They will ask me, why do we have to study figure drawing if A, we want to be graphic designers, or B, if we want to be abstract painters and never intend to draw the figure ever? I think that's a very fair question, so I wanted to pick it apart a little bit. Now let's look at what it is that we study when we study figure drawing. The four main categories, and there are more, but those are the four big ones, are we look at gesture, we look at shape and proportion, we look at form, and then we look at shadow, light, value. So let's pick them apart a little bit so you can understand what they mean. When we study gesture, we're basically looking at how can we create a visual unity, a visual flow out of separate parts. Now, why is it important for your art? Because in your artwork, you want to have a feeling of cohesion rather than it just feeling like little bits and pieces that don't belong together. The second part is shape and proportions. Now, that can mean capturing the big shape of something or capturing individual smaller shapes that look specifically like the thing you're drawing. So in the figure, that is really apparent because we're biologically fine-tuned to notice when something isn't symmetrical or if a body isn't well proportioned. So if you draw the figure and the legs are too long or the head is too big, it will stand out like a sore thumb and you won't be able to ignore it. And so it holds you to a really high standard. And the same is true for shape specificity. We all know what an upper arm is supposed to look like, and practicing to get your drawing to look like that specific shape, you can do that really well with figure drawing. And again, to relate it back to any artwork, having clear specific shapes is like having a strong stage to unfold your drama on. Whether those are abstract shapes or abstract designs, it doesn't matter, but you want to have strong shapes in your artwork. Number 3, form. So what we practice in figure drawing is how do we translate something that has volume and is sitting in a 3-dimensional space, how do we translate that onto a flat piece of paper and still have it hold that illusion of 3-dimensionality? And that is best practiced from live observation. Now, could you do this from, let's say, a still life or from drawing animals? Absolutely. But the thing is, you can't ask animals to hold still for a second while you're studying their form. They will run off. They will scratch themselves. They will turn around. And the thing with bottles is nothing in life is as complex as the human body or animal bodies for that matter. But again, we can't ask animals to hold still, but we can ask our models to hold a pose for 20 minutes. And then the fourth part is we study light patterns, shadow patterns, and the value. And most good pieces of art will have a strong light-dark matrix to them. And studying the figure is a unique place where you can practice that, again, from a model, from life, where you get the benefit of converting 3-dimensional reality into a 2-dimensional illusion of reality. Now, as we're studying these things from the live model, a couple of things happen. The nature of figure drawing is because the models will take different poses over and over again, it's very repetitive. So you get the benefit of really increasing your trust in your hand, but you also kickstart the eye-hand coordination. So with every new pose, you start to feel more confidence in your marks. You don't second guess yourself as much. The other thing that will happen is as you strengthen your understanding of these 4 principles that I mentioned, you will start to shift from seeing the world through normal person eyes to shifting and seeing the world through artist eyes, rather than ascribing names to things like this is an arm, this is a head. You start to notice the shape of things first. You start to notice the light patterns of things first. You start to notice the gesture of something first. So all of these are the formal elements that artists play with in their artwork. And again, whether that's abstract art, a design, or a figurative piece of artwork, it doesn't matter. So the figure just becomes a vehicle to practice these things. And the most beautiful thing to me once you've mastered figure drawing is that now you're able to invent anything from your imagination. You can establish gesture, you can establish form, have strong shapes, put a light shadow pattern over it, establish the value, and you're good to go. And to me, that is the most liberating feeling ever. Being able to just draw what's in here, put it out onto the page, there's nothing better than that. So there you have it. This is why I believe studying figure drawing is relevant to any artist. So I hope you'll give it a try. And if you need a little bit of assistance, I put a link to a free guide to your very first figure drawing session in the description box below. So check that out, give it a try, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you next week.